And have you had a tarot reading before?
Never.
Oh, exciting. So we got the Devil card, which is about something is holding on to you. So this could be like a person, a relationship that's not good. Over here, I see you setting some boundaries. This boundary card, it's right in the spot of like, this is just who you are. So like in general, you're somebody who's like, actually boundaries need to be set because they're healthy, and they are. And sometimes people are like, why would you do this to me? And it's like, because the boundary is here and that's where it needs to be. This person is moving through something that they've put a lot of time into. Is it a relationship that you're moving because of a boundary?
I feel like it's probably a relationship.
Yeah. Okay, because of boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But on the bottom here, we see that even through all this, you're like, I have emotional abundance. Like you feel pretty solid about where you're at and kind of like the decisions that you're moving into. As you do this moving through the change, is it going to cause like a huge transformation in your life, do you think? Like it would create like a whole new chapter, like people like to say? Okay. So that's this card. It's not actually death. Don't panic. But that's really what it is. It's about transformation, right? And going through the transformation and coming out the other side and feeling more flexible and stronger as a person. You're already, like I said, emotionally comfortable with any decision you're making. So just be ready for like, I'm comfortable with some of this creating change for me and like what that's going to look like. I also see some arguing in your future. Do you feel like that's do you feel like that's pretty likely?
Oh yeah.
So good luck with this. After this though, after the 5 of Wands comes the Victory card. So eventually you do get to the point where you're like, okay, this is the decision and it has been made. Again, coming back to those boundaries, we're done with this. This conversation is this is the direction we're moving. To get to that point, when you're in this argument and going through these transformations, you want to really start here with this Hermit card. And the Hermit literally goes out into the mountains, which we do live in Colorado, so you could totally do if you wanted to. But really, you could also just like lock the door for 3 hours. You know what I mean? What would make you feel like this is the direction I want to go? So that when you're in the argument, you know what would be considered the victory here. This is probably the person connected to the relationship. This person tends to be like, you can go to them and talk to them and they will help you process an emotion or get out of your emotions, but they don't want to get in the emotions with you. And on their best days, they're like a really solid therapist, and on their not as best days, they are very dismissive of emotions in general because they kind of sometimes get to a place where they see it as like a weakness. But that tends to lead people to treat their own emotions as weaknesses and then not process things and, become toxic, kind of. Um, Not to like talk bad about anybody in your life. I'm just saying allegedly. So, coming back to this, do you feel like this relationship is where you were feeling trapped and now you're like, I'm not trapped because I'm getting out of this situation because I'm setting good boundaries?
Potentially, yeah.
Do you have a topic?
I don't.
Okay.
No, I'm open.
Well, let's
I don't want to
just
restrict
risk
it.
it.
Yeah.
Well, good thing you guys both got the death card because we wouldn't want to have one of the readings be boring or anything.
That's probably not surprising.
In your like current position, I see that there's something about your like the dream life. You go down the path and then like you go on the other side of this hedge and it's like you made it to whatever your dream is, right? But then it's paired with this 10 of swords, which is like something has to die in order for you to reach your bright future. Not a person, nothing like that. It's just something that you're like, I know this has to stop in order for me to proceed forward. With whatever is changing here, you're going in some ways back to like, okay, I need to like refigure some totally new stuff out. With this Page of Pentacles, it's like, because there's the Page, Knight, King, and you're like, nope, I'm going all the way down back to the page to figure out from the beginning ish. still with all your experiences, but still from the beginning. And then this guy is just here to be like, but good thing I have my sense of humor. So I'll be okay. Which fair. I totally have had that thought many times. Past situation, you were again, I'm kicking it at my bright future. You got a 3 of Wands. You're like just like you were here, right? But then a Tower situation came in. Now the Tower, this is like lightning comes and it strikes the building and it's just boom, everything is messed up. You didn't call the lightning. You're not Zeus. So it came in and messed everything up, but like you didn't cause it. Okay. And then it was like, do I rebuild or do I move to Japan? Like, do I get out of this situation or do I try to rebuild what was there? Okay. And that led to some self judgment, feeling judged by others, but nobody can do it like we can, right? I have all the information. I'm so much better at judging myself than you are. Just like, don't let this become something that damages.
This is so the way these cards line up, is this past, present, future? Is that
it's past, but it's not like all the way past. It's like past, but this like leads into the present, and the present leads into the future. Yeah, so it's very interconnected, especially because the tarot cards don't really respect the concept of time, which sounds ridiculous, but it is based in science. The other thing here is the Five of Pentacles, which is like, there are things in society that we're taught these things are going to keep you safe. Okay. Police, school, church, parents, sometimes relationships in general fall under this category. And then we live life and like, it's like, oh, some of that didn't work out. I have trauma from these things that were supposed to keep me safe. Right. And so that part of you, for whatever happened when you were 7 or 13 or 21, there's a piece of you that gets stuck there. And it is making decisions out of fear. So this Tower moment stirred up these parts of you that were like, you see, now like the decision's coming from fear. I'm out in the cold again. Either I choose to leave and I'm out in the cold, or I'm pushed out and I'm out in the cold. Okay. So it looks like for the most part, you kind of handled that with like, okay, I'm going to just pause and figure this out. Right. Moved from there to here. And then the present moving into future is the Death card. This alone is a transformation. Like you're probably headed in this direction or currently in this. Is that correct?
Meaning transformation. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a secret involved.
Oh no. Oh no.
Two of Cups. That's somebody who's going to support you. They're just going to be supportive while you're going through this. And then the last card is the Six of Swords, which I really like. When you are in the boat, right? And the waves are just kicking your brain all around, basically. Like your brain is in the boat, the waves, the emotions are just pushing you all around. And then finally the water breaks and you can see where you're going. You can steer the boat. You know, like, oh, there's a boulder coming up. I can move around it. So the idea here is that the stormy thoughts clear out. And even though not everything is better now, you know how and when to move forward.
Yeah, we're business partners. And
yeah.
And maybe my Two of Cups or whatever. Is that what it is? Two of Cups?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I will say all of that resonates because we started a business, had a business partner who didn't go well, and it resulted in like a lot of personal and professional turmoil for us. And we rebuilt everything. I feel like that like speaks to the past. Oh
yes, the Tower. Yeah, like because you just said we rebuilt everything, so it had to get messed up before that.
And I think a lot of self judgment about like trusting people I shouldn't trust. I'm a very trusting person, and but that has continued. And I think like the present piece is like we're in the process of letting go of 2 employees, which I don't know if that's. I feel like something that you said in that like present card deck was kind of referencing. Do you remember?
The Ten of Swords. Like there are certain things that have to be cut out.
To prosperity, but like something needed to happen first.
Yeah, kind of the beginning. Yeah, beginning again.
Bringing us back to square one, just in the sense like we thought that we learned our lesson the first time, but we didn't.
That's totally, square one is what I said about the Page of Pentacles.
And then I guess the only part that is not resonating with me at all right now is the secrets thing. Like, if anything, I actually feel like I'm kind of constantly having to like hold back. Like, I'm very forthcoming with stuff that like I shouldn't be probably sometimes.
I'm just thinking, because this is like somebody's keeping something from, they're getting away with it. It's the idea behind this card. There's an, does that clear it up better?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
That clears that up. So the secret thing threw me for a loop, but death card is, so death card with the secret card is just like there's transformation
connected to whatever it is, something thought like that they were getting away with. Like the transformation is going to be good. The transformation is always good. It sucks to go through. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Some people do. They're like, it's a healing journey. I don't care. Healing journeys suck. The benefits are good though. You get the payoff at the end.
Yes, it just, I don't know. Like, I'm tripping a little bit just because that was what was on my mind coming into today. It's
cool.
Kind of like all consuming.
I love that
right now. If you were to say like, well, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are you wanting to know?
I feel like what I want to know is like right now our business is at a tipping point where we do have opportunities to like grow and scale and reach more people. It's a mental health practice. Or we could just like really focus like on the team that we have and like go insular. Basically we're in psychedelics, and so there's a lot of opportunity for like immediate growth. And, like, there's a potential that like we lose out on opportunities if we don't like do that.
Okay. What's holding you back then?
Do we lose some of the magic of what we've created if we expand too fast?
Stay and grow or expand. It's not really a flat out good or bad here. I do see with expand, there's a lot of like judgment. You're going to judge yourself more and more with the expansion. This is the one I would probably lean towards right now. The stay where you are and grow. There's a victory card. A victory is a pretty good path to follow, right? That's why I would lean towards that. You can do whatever you want. And there's a nostalgia card here. A lot of times it harkens back to that, like, what does my inner child need right now? Go to the zoo, go out for ice cream, get a coloring book, and spend some time like bringing that to the surface. I think there's an aspect here of allowing yourself to let something grow instead of pushing for it to be the biggest, bestest thing. There's some aspect of your inner child that's like really positively affecting this idea would be like really good for that aspect of you. Does that make sense? Either way, there's inspiration. Either way, you're Three of Pentacles, so you're like in the spot you're supposed to be in. The people in working together, you're each in the spot you're supposed to be in. So like you have really good setup either way. And either way, there are going to be days where you're like, I'm actually very busy being annoyed right now, so I need everybody to leave me alone. And then you just like have some water and some chocolate and 20 minutes, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to go.
I think it does.
I mean, it matters which one you choose, but like this feeling is going to happen
no
matter what. And then like when those days happen, you're going to be like, I should have grown or I should have stayed. That's what I mean when I say it doesn't matter. But this is a quick fix. As long as you do it, you have to take the time to have the water, have a piece of chocolate, relax for 20 minutes. If you don't do that, then it grows into something else. Do you have a topic today?
Relationships.
Oh, okay. How long have you been in this relationship?
A little over a month.
Okay. So the reason I asked that is because the Three of Swords came up, which is like a heartbreak card. This card. And because it's only been a month, like it really can't be heartbreaking yet. We haven't had time to set that kind of foundation, right? So the reason that this shows up in that spot, which is the foundational area, is because there's been some heavy heartbreak in the past romantically that is still not like, oh, it's still affecting you. You think about it every day, but it's still like your brain is like, okay, we need to be aware that this is something that happens in relationships because it was not, easy to heal from. I see here with the Eight of Cups that you, the last probably year, you set some really good boundaries with the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Cups. You were like, I'm going to put this emotional baggage down and I'm going to walk away from it. And I'm guessing these had something to do with some of this heartbreak.
Mhm.
And then you have, and I'm going to go on some new adventures, which is just code for dating.
Yeah. Right.
And then here it's like with this guy, you're like, okay, yes, I'm aware that relationships can cause me pain, but I'm interested in maybe investing a little bit into this relationship. It's a lot of fun. We've got the Sun card here. So it's like you guys have fun together on purpose. There's a bit of a victory here in the idea that, like, you've, even with this heartbreak that you had, you're willing to move on to a new relationship. And that's part of the victory. But there's also you being like, I can I can take care of some of my own needs and meet some of those, like, the five love languages.
Right.
You're like, I can meet my needs for myself. And then if somebody wants to come in and be a part of that, that's great. But it's not a codependent seeking.
Right.
Because you're like, I'm not going to put myself in a position where,
Right. Your happiness depends on somebody else.
Yes. Okay, well, definitely he had a situation in his past that was not great. Some stuff fell apart. It wasn't in, like, even necessarily his doing.
Yep.
Because I see this Tower card here. And then, he tried to work it out and tried to communicate. Work it out might not be the right term. He tried really hard to, like, make something a little bit more peaceful and communicate. And he just felt like he was getting crumbs. And he was like, this is supposed to be a whole loaf of bread. I'm not going to stay for crumbs. Right. And so he was like, I'm just going to go be my own boss of my life and not be in this situation. Even though some aspects of him might still be tied to it. He's definitely in a position right now where he's like, honeymoon phase, he's very happy, sees something in the future. He's also apt to sometimes, like, be, those moods when you're just like, I'm actually very busy being annoyed right now and I need everybody to leave me alone. Yes. So he's apt to have that once in a while. This usually comes from just not practicing enough self-care and taking alone time. Now, this Three of Wands is tricky. This could be a bright future, which is traditional, or it could be a trip that you guys are going to take. He feels like you really see him, like you can see his strengths really easily, and that's going to increase as time goes on, that he's going to just feel seen by you, okay? And then this Ten of Cups is very, like, happy home life. Like, and even if it's like separate home lives, don't move in together tomorrow or anything. Even if it's separate homes, it's like, I feel happier and, like, have my home life is happier because you come over sometimes, or when you're not here, I have something nice to think about without hanging it on, oh, I need you here to feel happy, right? And then the only card here that gives me a little bit of pause is this boundaries card, this Ace of Swords. You also had it, but yours was over here, which means you already went through the process of being like, where do I need better boundaries? His past is this mess that happened. So I don't know if he knows all the way, like, what do I want my boundaries in a relationship to be? And while he's in the honeymoon phase, he's not going to think about boundaries, right? Is there anything that surprised you during the reading?
I guess I was surprised that, somewhat of a skeptic, that it seemed very on point. Like, this made a lot of sense.
Skeptics are my favorite because that always happens where they're like, I didn't think you were going to say that.
Yeah, so it's like, oh yeah, it was pretty on point.
Good.
On both sides.
Yay. Yeah. Okay. And does it help you, like, with any aspect of something you were overthinking? Does it kind of, like, help clear up any of that?
I think it just sort of confirms, like, kind of where we're both at. Like, that was sort of spot on for me. And then his past, like, we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
So
I'm so glad you knew about that.
Yeah.
I was, because when it came up, I was like, okay, well, this could be, something that's a little bit new information. which I try not to do too much of for
Right.
people. But
Right.
when
No,
you
we
were like,
already
"Oh,
talked
this
about it.
makes sense,"
Yeah,
I
that
was like,
totally makes
"Yes,
sense. That
perfect."
totally makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I hope that he's like,
And I think we are planning on both a trip and then,
"Oh,
hopefully
you
a
are."
future. Yeah. So you said
This
this
is
could be a trip.
great.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that. So, what is your topic today?
Definitely career.
Awesome. So, you've had like spiritual gifts since you were a kid.
Did I?
I'm asking you, or did you just want them?
I was always interested in like supernatural stuff.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
I love my dad was into tarot when he was younger.
So that does kind of come back though, like since childhood, you've had this kind of like ongoing situation with your dad and spiritual gifts and whether they're there or not there or good or bad. Are you wanting to leave your job? Because I see a movement card here where you might be moving on to some new financial adventure.
Well, I'm working at Sephora right now. There's a lot of headache with like the scheduling aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I am going to school
Okay.
for criminal justice and crime scene investigation.
Okay.
That's what I kind of want to pursue.
That's going to be intense. And I see that you've put a lot of like time and effort into beauty already. And so maybe just taking some time to be like, okay, because you don't want to feel like, oh, I wasted this or whatever. It's fine to move on to something else. I worked at a bank for 13 years and now I read tarot full time, right? So, like, it's fine to do that. It's actually really healthy, at least for me. But it's good to kind of take like, okay, what did I gain from this that I'm going to use in the future, either personally or professionally? I also have this manifestation card. Now, of course, you've heard of manifestation, and this is not a test, so just be honest with me. Do you manifest?
I try.
Okay.
But then there's also that the self-doubt.
When you think about manifestation, what I like to do is I wake up in the morning, I say 5 things that I'm thankful for that I have. I'm getting my brain to recognize that I'm currently saying thank you for things I have. And then I have 5 things that I'm manifesting. And even if you put aside the spiritual concepts, quantum physics, even if you put all that stuff aside, the science and understanding it, and you put aside the spiritual, only working with the psychology, your subconscious mind cannot take a joke. So when you tell it, these are the things that I'm thankful for, it's going to spend all day finding that stuff for you. And like I said, even if you put all that other stuff aside, getting your brain on board is psychology. Like that stuff is easy to not dismiss. And that'll help with the doubt.